Yo, what's up, guys? I know it's kind of late. Technically, the patch already came out, like, yesterday. But I said, fuck it. Figured I'd make a video anyways. So here we go. I'm just gonna go over patch notes. And these patch notes don't have anything in particular that I think are super egregious. However, there's a few things I really want to go over and discuss for a bit because I don't have super long to make a video, but there's a few things I want to go over and mainly just complain a little bit. I mean, no surprise there, right? Just complain a little bit, not necessarily just about the patch notes themselves, but kind of just about, you know, the fact that we're just going to keep doing things that we're going to have to revert. But anyways, let's get right into it. So they fixed like, a bunch of bugs, obviously, because there were all of these. I don't know what most of these were, or like, I mean, I don't even, you didn't really see this one I saw all the time. You could, if a warlock had killed something, you would just pretty much always see the fire on its body. Doesn't anyways, no one cares. You know, fix like some more issues. Once again, nobody cares. Okay, here are the big changes. All classes now enter a creep state zero point 0.5 seconds after walking or crouching and do not emit footsteps. Exceptions are made when stepping on pebbles, bones, etc., or are wearing plate boots. Okay, see this right here on the pebbles, bones, etc. Like, okay, I feel like this is probably something we should include. What's etc. here? Like, this isn't just like, oh, because like if it were everything, then this change wouldn't matter because you'd hear them. But we don't know what etc. is. So, I mean, just figure it out, I guess. Just step on everything until you hear your footsteps. But or wearing plate boots, which means you're definitely never gonna wear plate boots now. I mean, you had no reason to before, but now you're definitely never gonna do it. And when the character walks or crawls, the movement speed change has been changed from 35 or minus 35% to minus 40%. So this is a change. Basically, if you don't know, Rogue has the perk called Creep, and whenever they're crouch walking, now it made their footsteps silent. Well, now they just gave that to every class, and they buff it later. So I think they have to plus Rogues have plus 10% movement speed when crouch walking now, or or creeping, or whatever you want to call it, like the slow walking, the RP walking, whatever you want to say. But basically, what this change wants to incentivize is you just crouch walk everywhere, and you have literally no audio. I died to this last night because I was playing norms, right? Just questing, and I ran into people that were probably sniping because I ran like a mile away from these guys. I had been sitting down for 30 seconds on the other side of a door, just sitting there, and then all of a sudden the door starts opening up right behind me because they crouch walked up to it, and I had no clue, just literally no audio clue of it or audio cue of it. And that's what this is going to end up being. It's just going to be there are going to be whole teams just crouch walking around the map. Like if you don't hear them clearing PvE beforehand, you're not going to have any idea, and it's just going to be really, really awful. Basically, this just is you're going to have to turn into super schizo paranoid mode to ever catch anyone now, and that's going to be really unfun and just overall feel really shitty. I don't know why they did this. I really don't. I just like this is just one of those changes that this is something they're 100% going to revert. Like this is what I mean. This is a change. It's like why do we need to test this, right? What I mean sound to an extent is like a skill in the game. Hearing stuff, knowing where people are based on sound, that's a skill in the game. We have now just removed that. So effectively the best way to play the game is to bind your or fucking, glue your hand to your shift key or your C key or whatever you have to slow walk and just hold that down the entire game. Because if you don't, people are going to hear you coming and they're going to crouch walk at you and you're going to have no idea. People are going to be moving all around corners and rooms right beside you. And if they're crouching, you're going to have literally no clue what's going on. But all right, moving on from that. So this is marked through. I don't know. So, okay. So this wasn't implemented in the patch. I don't know if that was an accident because it's marked through now. So I don't know if this is supposed to be like, oh, it's not in the patch, so we marked it through. It'll be in a later patch, or we're just not doing it. But basically, this change is awful, right? Like, I don't know what in God's name they thought here. So I'm pretty sure their logics. I think they say it down here, right? Um. Uh. Okay. No. 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 Yeah. See, even right here. Okay. But this is about the rogue group. If this changes to negative impact, it may be rolled back in the next hotfix. We appreciate like why? Why are we making changes that we pretty much that are already saying, oh, if it's bad, then we'll roll it back. It's just okay. But anyways, so I thought they said they did this to try to counteract PDR by giving people more headshot damage. So if you don't know, The headshot modifier was like 150%. So if you hit the headshot, you did 50% more damage. Then it get extended to 2.0, which is 100% headshot damage. So basically, if you know it adds 25% more damage to your headshots, right? That's what the math like roughly maths out to. Get it from 1.5 to 2, it's adding about 25 to 30% more damage, give or take. I think I'm not the best at math, but it's somewhere around there. And the thing is, like I said they did this to counteract PDR, if I'm not mistaken. I swear I remember seeing that somewhere. Maybe I'm just making shit up. But the problem with this is this doesn't really work against PDR, but what this does do is it helps classes one shot harder. Think now Rogue gets an extra 25% modifier on headshots. Rangers, 25% modifier on headshots. All of these classes are all of a sudden doing a lot more damage, right? They are hitting a lot harder with this change. And I just have to ask, why? Like, time to kill has always been a problem in this game, and people dying too fast has always been an issue. So why are we doing things like increasing headshot damage bonus? I mean, yeah, it adds more skill into the game, because now if you're not hitting headshots and you're hitting, like, arm shots, you're doing way less damage. You know, like, significantly less. And if you're more geared than somebody, or if you're less geared than somebody and you're hitting headshots while they're not hitting headshots, you could probably kill them because your damage is going to be a lot higher. Like, if you're hitting a body shot and I'm hitting a headshot, you know, I'm doing double your damage. Like, that's a pretty big difference, you know? You're not even considering, like, sour spots or anything. Also, wait, no, I think when it's just 50% more damage, not 25, 30. Am I just an idiot? I was thinking about that. I was thinking about how, like, it actually works, because from, like, a 2 to 1.5, it's only, that's, like, a 25% difference, but I guess 1.5 to 2 is, like, 0.5. Yeah, it's a lot more damage. That's all you need to know. It's a lot more damage. I'm not going to sit here and math this out. But anyways, so the increased rate of spellcasting speed curve according to knowledge has been slightly reduced. This is pretty big for clerics, not as much for wizards, but this is pretty big for clerics. Wizards are already building so much spellcasting speed that it really doesn't hurt them that much. Potion chugger status icon has been changed. Who cares? So the only barb nerf in the patch. Barbarian's rage physical damage reduction penalty has been changed from minus 20% to minus 25%, and the move speed bonus has been changed from 10% to 12%. So really, it's not even a nerf. Basically, they just shifted this over. You lost a bit more PDR, you gained a bit more movement speed. Somehow, this is the only change that we got to Barbarian this patch. Barbarian, the most oppressive trios character, the most broken trios character, that is running through everyone with Warmaul, that is reducing all physical damage of Savage Roar, increasing their team's max HP by 25% with Warcry. We get a nerf to the skill, not even a nerf, like a shift. We get a shift in the skill that wasn't even used. I mean, maybe this is used in solos, it probably is, but I'm pretty sure this shit doesn't matter for solos. You know why? Because this 5% PDR doesn't do anything when they're also popping Savage Roar. So basically, they're just gaining 2% move speed on Rage, and this losing 5% PDR, who cares? Right? And most of the time, if you're fighting a melee class, you don't even have to pop Rage. You only really use this against range or classes that don't run away from you, like Wizards or Warlocks. So the minus PDR really doesn't matter. But anyways, great barb change, guys. Ha! I love this. Really, really big fan of this. Definitely shouldn't have nerfed Savage Roar. That's cool. All right, one more patch, boys. One more patch of barb. Rogue's creep increased movement speed by 5% one creep mode. Did they remove the movement speed whenever they made it so footsteps were silent? I thought they what's it called? I thought they did it, but maybe this is just like increased by 5% to 10% because I thought it was already 5%. I don't know. Whatever. I mean, who cares? I mean, you're probably not taking this perk now, that's for sure. Ranger's quickfire sound has been adjusted. They just added a sound key for this. Wizard's spell overload memory capacity penalty has been changed from minus 70% to minus 60%, and the spell count bonus has been changed from 100% to 60%. This is a very big change. Very, very big. Now, while it's not as hard to run overload, because you can run more spells with it, you do have less spells when you actually are running it. And 60% rounded down, so you're not getting your spells doubled anymore. No more 8 fireballs or 6 chains or 10 zaps or all that stupid shit. Now it's a lot less. I think on average, most things probably lost like 1 to 2 spells. So that's pretty cool. Lightning Strike circle size has been changed from 75 to 80. I mean, this is fine. Lightning Strike isn't really an issue. You can jump it. It's a really small AoE. And I don't even know if they ever fixed the bug with it where it just wasn't hitting anything. And now for probably some of the biggest changes in the patch. Wizard's Chain Lightning spell count has been changed from 3 to 2, and Wizard's Chain Lightning no longer transfers from dead bodies. At long last, they have finally made the patch, or they finally made the change that needed to happen forever ago. Now wizards can no longer bait a dead body in a corner and insta-kill your entire team because you walked over a dead mob, right? They can no longer push into a room like, hey, look, I see you guys dodging. Too bad that dead mob on the ground can't. And zap it and obliterate you. No more of that happening. And they reduced the spell count here. And with the 60% increase, you're only going to have, I think with spell overload now, you're only going to have 3 spells. Because I'm pretty sure it always rounds down. So now you're only going to have 6 or 3 chain lightnings with the 60% from overload, which is pretty insane. Like 3 chain lightnings is definitely livable, especially if they have to chain it off your actual body. Massive change. And then this is actually pretty big too. Cleric's Holy Strike circle size changed from 150 to 80. They almost halved the size of Holy Strike. Holy Strike is now the size of Lightning Strike, which is insane. Because Holy Strike has a really long time before it casts after it goes on the ground. You can definitely dodge Holy Strike now, just reactionary. Before, you kind of had to, like, fake them out and, like, make them drop it as you were backing up. Now, if they put it on you, I'm pretty sure you could step out of it. I haven't tested it, but I'm pretty sure. Now Bless goes, once again, we've reverted Bless again. Now it gives each attribute, it gives 3 again instead of 5, because, we buffed this for some reason. We buffed this a few patches ago when clerics were already it's the patch after cleric got 10 spell back. Clerics were already running Bless back in their arsenal, and then they buffed it for some reason. Ha! Thank you, Ironmace. We definitely didn't need that, so we reverted it back again. Just classic. And then Dark Reflection now consumes darkness shards when activated. This is pretty good. Basically, this is so like they couldn't that you couldn't like get proc Dark Reflection and then get hit by something else and fucking get double darkness sharded. Warlock's Hydra health changed from 150 to 125. Warlock's Hydra has a slight delay after attacking 3 times. Cool. I don't think this matters for the most part. It's really easy to, like, even without, like, you could still jump over the Hydra in between its attacks. It wasn't that big a deal. 1 second. Okay, never mind. And then the health, I guess it helps you kill it a bit easier. Like, whatever. Don't really think it matters that much. Special appearances for various crafted items have been added. From now on, the Goblin Caves will be tested as a 5v5. Wow. I haven't seen this before. Yippee! The normal version of the 5x5 Goblin Cave also offers dual bosses and special rewards. I'm going to go over this in a minute. And then the grade of treasure drop from normal dungeons has been significantly improved. Awesome. Ore now spawns twice as much in full dungeons. AP for some categories has been changed to be split equally between teams. Unfortunately, AP for acquiring items and treasure is still earned individually. Now, EXP is divided equally among team members. That's great. Entrance fee for high roller has been slightly reduced. It's still incredibly high. Change to no longer show the select a server region. That's good for streamers, so don't have to worry about stream sniping as much. The third week quest will open at, they open the patch comes out. And the experience point requirement up to level 20 has been slightly reduced. Previously achieved levels may be increased and points will be paid retroactively. Okay. So, Goblin Caves. 1, like I said, this is from now on, we'll be tested as a 5v5. Oh, we've tested as 5v5 before, we back to 3v3. Back to 5v5, back to 3v3. Now we're on 5v5 again. I think they tested 3x3 after, was it twice after the 5x5? I don't know, but this is at least the second time we've went from 5x5 to 3x3 back to 5x5. So, honestly, I don't know why. I think people complained about 3x3. People complain about 5v5 or 5x5. I don't get it. Just pick one and stick with it, man. No one's going to be happy at everything. However, I don't really care about that. This right here. This is the problem. Not the normal version. This. Okay, just put it like this. The first part, the beginning of the normal version of it. This right here. 5x5 Goblin Caves offers dual bosses and special rewards. So if you don't know what this means, you're not a Goblin Caves player, you don't watch anyone. You can do Troll and you can do Cyclops on Goblin Caves now. Troll and Cyclops both have a pile after their boss room. And then if you kill both bosses, there's another loot room that has another pile. But not only that, this loot room has 2 legendary drops guaranteed. and they can be unique items. So 5x5 Goblin Caves has the best loot in the entire game, and it's not even close. You can that's not even counting Mystical Gem, but you can effectively run like a gold key or a skull key every single run if you kill both bosses. Not to mention, like I said, the fact that you have three different piles. I think they both have five pull, or all three of them have five pulls each. Not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure they have five pulls each. That's I think 90% sure. Um, yeah. So basically, you have 15 pulls off the pile for one person. Each pull could give you a named item. You have two guaranteed legendary spawns. Can be weapons or armor, and they can be named. They can be named variants, which we've seen before. The bosses are incredibly easy at that. Like in Troll is pretty much a joke. Cyclops has one attack that's even remotely difficult to dodge, and I would say remotely. It's just the eye beam that could petrify you. If you get hit by it, you usually die. But other than that, there's very little effort having to put in these bosses. The hardest part is potentially getting griefed. Even then, if you're playing like Warlock or something, or Rogue, you kill the or Bard, you kill the boss incredibly fast. But basically, Goblin Cave's loot is 2 to 3 times better than Crypt's loot, HR Hell Crypt's loot, while taking half the time to do. What, maybe less than that. I think your average, run to Hell and out probably 25-30 minutes, give or take. Average Goblin Caves run ain't even 10. So you're getting more loot in less time in an easier mode. Yes, easier mode, solos players. Hate to break it to you, but solos is much easier than trios. You just play one of the broken classes in solos, and you're cooking. But I just have to ask, why? Like in theory, the trios content for more people, going hell, doing all the like bossing, that should reward you with the best loot. That should give you the best stuff. Shouldn't even be close in my mind. Before, that was the best part. Like even before the loot wasn't necessarily the best. However, that was the only place you could go to get named items. So, therefore it was inherently the best if you wanted the absolute best stuff. Now that's not the case. Now you can pull gold chests from all the piles. You can pull named weapons from piles. You can find named weapons in like Goblin Caves on the altar or like in the loot room if you're lucky. Like so all of the things that were unique and that were really good that made you want to run HR trios is now in all the other maps. So if you're a player and you're like, oh, I really want to make money, I really want to get geared, trios is no longer the way to do it. Goblin Caves is. You go Goblin Caves, you learn how to do boss, play like Warlock or something or Rogue. You can run in there 8-9 minutes, hit 3 piles, get 2 guaranteed legendary items, and be out. If even one of those legendary items rolls decent, you sell it for a few thousand gold. And even if it's not, like, it has to be completely awful for you to not sell it. Like, if you pick it up and it's even remotely okay, you're going to sell it for at least a few hundred. So, like, coming out with 1,000 gold a run, like, not necessarily AP, but 1,000 gold a run from a Goblin Caves run in 10 minutes is pretty easy. It's pretty, I don't understand it. It's crazy. And then, to move on, the greater treasures drop from normal dungeons has been significantly improved. I think this is specifically normal mode. I don't know why we're doing this. I think this is really, really dumb because the thing is, I'm sure their logic is, oh, if people are getting a bunch of better gear that, they can use, they'll go into HR with it. No, that's not the case. All these people that are stuck in norms aren't ever going to go HR because they don't want to. They want to sit there and they want to fight in their little white geared lobbies and enjoy that and never go HR because then if they go HR, they have to fight people that are more geared or people with gear and they're never going to do that. That was the problem with locking norms to white gear and gear capping it, is you're going to have all these people that are never going to do anything more than just play norms, right? That's all they're ever going to do. It's kind of dumb. And then, ore now spawns twice as much in all dungeons. Okay, so, just going to throw this out here for you guys, for all the non-knowers. Gold and ruby silver spawns in hell in trios. It spawns in normals. Excuse me, my nose stopped up. It spawns in normals as well. It spawns in normals and HR. You can go norms, mine gold and ruby silver, and sell it and make over 1,000 gold a run just selling ore. Because I think I had like a stack of when I got off last night, a stack of gold ore went for like 800-900 gold, like 5 stack of ruby silver probably goes 300-400. You can literally make over 1,000 gold going to hell and mining gold in normals and ruby silver. But that is insane. You can make so much money. I mean, that works for tree HR too. You go HR, you have effectively because in norms you only get like 3 pulls off a node. In HR you get up to 6. I mean, technically in HR you can make even more, but still, that is insane. It's absolutely ridiculous. All right, and then the AP for categories. This is cool. I don't even know what categories this even changed. I really have no idea. Maybe it's kills or something. I'm honestly not even sure. And then unfortunately, if we require items treasure is still earned individually. So the problem with this, even if they make this for like a team effort, this won't necessarily be good because imagine like we're 3 of us are playing and we kill a team and you guys are trying to like rank up, but I don't care about my rank. And so I take an inventory full of gear. I'm now actively griefing you guys because I didn't also fill my inventory full of like AP items because I wanted to take out gear. So before you had the you had the meta of like 2 people would funnel 1 person and then 2 people they could take out all the gear that you guys wanted. Now that's not the case. Now all 3 of you have to be fully loaded in treasure or you can't you're not going to climb like other people, especially if you're going for like rank 1 or something. It's not going to happen. But yeah, that's like the whole idea of leaderboards being AP just isn't very good. Like for like treasure collector, it's just not that great. I mean, it's not the worst if we get a PvP leaderboard with the arena, but that's a very long time out. And then EXP is divided equally among team members. I already thought. I mean, I guess or I knew it wasn't, but it's kind of weird that it wasn't. I guess. Entry fee was like reduced. Like I said, I don't even think it was by much. And then the EXP requirement up to level 20 has been reduced slightly. It wasn't reduced by much. Like I think on my fighter at level like 56, I got like a level off of it. My cleric game went from like level 9 to level 10, and my barb went from like level 15 to 17. So it's decent. I mean, it's a change. I think they probably took off like 500 XP or something like that. 500, 1,000, who knows? I'm not even sure. But anyways, yeah, I just kind of want to go over these patch notes because I think my biggest problem is they just keep making changes over and over and over that I know they're going to have to revert, that are clearly not good for the game. Because, like, okay, I'm not going to sit here and listen to this dog shit patch. Because this right here, like, this right here is fantastic. Everything that happened right in here, fantastic. Awesome changes. Needed. But then we have stuff like Warlock Hydra, the slight delay after attacking 3 times. We have these 2 Warlock nerfs when the most broken Warlock build right now is Chris Dagger with either with like that's either plate or with the shield running around with Blow of Corruption, insta killing everyone, being completely unfightable in melee range. And nothing's on there about that. We have Barbarian with Savage Roar being the unkillable God King. We buffed Rage effectively, and it's like what? Like some of these like some of these things, because I'm like I said, I'm not gonna say these aren't good changes, but most of these changes, like these right here, these are things that should have happened, 7 months ago, right? Like these are not things that should be like this should have been changed forever ago. Like these right here, like these are fine, right? Like the spell overload, this is a good nerf. Bless, I mean, this is a revert. Like, I'm not even gonna say this is a good nerf. This is a revert that was never needed because, or like, it never should have been buffed, so it never should have need to be reverted. And like Ironmace, they just do this 24/7. We just buff, nerf, buff, nerf, buff, nerf, the same things over and over and over, while they just like kind of tiptoe around the things that need to be dealt with. And this is another patch. Haven't heard of Druid. Haven't heard of multiclassing. Haven't heard about Arena. I don't know if you guys know this. We got Warlock back in August, right? We got Warlock all the way back in August. And even though that was like the first iteration of the class, it was a very basic class. It was really, really bad, like, because that's how they released every class of War. That's how they released Bard. Bard got released in Playtest 5, was awful. Like 3 songs, completely unplayable class. Warlock released, got like 3 spells or 4 spells, completely unplayable class, dog shit. But that doesn't take away from anyone playing the game. They even said Druid was in a playable state and had like 3 forms, but it just didn't feel fluid. Like, who cares, man? Just release it and let us play it. Like, you're telling me it's taking you guys 9 months? Is it 9 months now? Like 8 or 9 months to work on Druid and get it feeling fluid. We heard about Druid, I think at the start of last wipe or sometime like a month in last wipe. So about 3 months ago now, 3 to 4 months ago, we heard that, oh, Druid's got to be delayed because we're trying to make the bear not fit through doors. It's taken them 4 months to make the bear fat? That's what, like, really? But, like, how are we just multi-classing? Oh, that's the big thing in this wipe. Still haven't heard about it. We are now in our third week of the wipe. This wipe's only supposed to be what? I think it's at 2.5 months. We are now almost a month into this wipe. We still don't have multi-classing. Keep in mind, I mean, also the thing is, like, I think I've played this game a lot, right? Like compared to most people, I've played this game a ton. My fighter is level 64 now. I have 4 tokens, so that is 4 things I can learn. And then my other classes aren't even level 30 yet. So for an average person, even if multiclassing came out tomorrow, they probably wouldn't have access to it for another month because the XP requirement is still so insane. Right? And even if you do have access, you have like, oh cool, I got 1 perk or 1 skill from another class. You multiclassing. Like it feels like they just have no idea what they're doing. We're not getting any of the things that are promised. The things they're doing are like, okay, yes, some of these are cool. Some of these are really good. Most of these I don't care about. Most of these are irrelevant. Most of these are just changes that we've already had. Like, oh, we're back on 5x5 or 5x5 Goblin Caves. Cool. Well, why are we back here when you just put us on 3x3? You know? Why are we increasing the value of treasures in the normal dungeon when you just lowered it before? Why are we constantly making all these buffs and then nerf them? Why are we going forward and then going back? We're taking 1 step forward, 2 steps back, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Or we just take the same, we're not even changing feet. We're taking our right foot, putting it forward, and taking our right foot, putting it back. Like, what are we doing here? I just don't understand at this point. I love Dark and Darker, right? This is probably one of my favorite games of all time. And that's why it makes me so mad seeing these patch notes every single time when I just look at this and I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, how? How do we sit here and we just buff, nerf, buff, nerf, buff, nerf over and over and over? The game, like, I've had people come in my chat when I'm streaming. It's like, yo, how's the game right now? Or you know, like, is this a good time to get back in? And you know what I tell them? I tell them, I'm like, oh, if like I was like, it feels the exact same. We got literally nothing this wipe. Like, what feels different this wipe that didn't feel last wipe? Oh, new items, like new armor, cool. I mean, like that's cool, I guess. But we just went through a 4 month wipe, and you're telling me the biggest thing we get at the start of this one, 3 weeks in, is some new armor pieces that just have just some new, just we just have reskinned armor, or like like a new skin on a piece of armor that gives us Dex and Agi now. Woo! Like sick. I'm glad I played a 4 month wipe for this. New quests. I mean that's fun. Yeah, like I mean I don't mind some of the new quests, but then some of like when some of the quests that are like, oh, go kill 5 warlocks and 5 wizard and crypts, like that's not fun. It's tilting. It's tedious. I'm trying to fight my teammates to kill the one little Timmy warlock I found in the past 3 hours in crypts. It's just like, what are we doing, man? But anyways, these are the patch notes, and I went over them, so I hope you enjoyed. As always, feel free to leave your comments down below, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.